Alright guys, welcome back to my channel. This evening I've got a pretty simple install. I've had this Yoshimura Alpha exhaust on my 2019 Kawasaki Ninja ZX6R 6364 for just over a year. And it's been a great exhaust. I have it tuned to my Power Commander 5 and I'm going to swap it out for an M4 slip-on. There's two reasons that I'm making the change. One is I like that look of having the exhaust down here. It kind of reminds me of the new Panigale V2 that has the exhaust just coming out right here next to the swing arm. And then I'd also like to remove the passenger rear pegs, which on the right side is supporting the can, whereas the M4 exhaust gets supported just by this bolt down here. So by swapping out to the M4 exhaust, I'll be able to delete these bars here, and I think it'll just make for a much more clean look. So since I'm only replacing the slip-on, it should be just a matter of unbolting here at the passenger peg, here at the base of the exhaust, and taking off the clamp and swapping for the new. First, let me fire it up. And I'll keep the camera and the audio at the same level so that you can hear the comparison between the Yoshimura Alpha exhaust and the M4 exhaust. My guess is, since it's just at the slip-on, should sound pretty similar, but let's go ahead and fire up the bike. Alright, I don't want to get the exhaust too hot because I'm going to be taking it off, and if it's too hot to the touch, I won't be able to do that. So here's the box that the M4 slip-on comes in. Let's do a quick unboxing. Alright, so all this comes with is the can itself. Alright, here it is, and it looks pretty sharp. I like the welds coming across the back of the can here, and lots of carbon fiber that looks really sharp. M4's been around for a while. I think they're a 13-year-old company based out of Dallas, Texas. Read lots of good reviews on their products. Again, I'm not expecting too much, if any, more performance out of this. It's mainly for the aesthetic of that shorter pipe look, as well as, again, getting rid of those rear passenger pegs. So let's get this on the bike. So if you're installing the M4 exhaust on your stock bike for the first time, the process is obviously going to be a little bit different. And actually I have a full video that I'll put a link to the description up above of me installing the Yoshimura Alpha exhaust when my bike was stock. So that has the step-by-step process for that. In this case though, there's a 10mm bolt in the back, a 10mm bolt holding the clamp, and a 5 or 6mm Allen key holding the exhaust in the middle here. So I'm just going to pull those off quickly and slip the new pipe on. The only hardware that the entire kit came with was one bolt and nut, and I assume it's to replace this bolt and nut that was holding the system up previously. I kind of like the factory Allen head a bit better, so since I think they're the same size, I may try to use the factory one. Either way, it's just a single bolt that goes through this. And actually the hole that comes with the exhaust isn't wide enough for the factory bolt, so I will use the supplied hardware. And since this nut that was supplied with the kit isn't a lock nut, I'm going to go ahead and apply a little bit of Loctite to make sure it doesn't back off. Alright, so that's pretty firmly attached there. Let me go ahead and just tighten down the exhaust clamp. Also, as you're inserting this into the cat, make sure that you don't do any damage to the gasket inside. Alright, so now I just need to remove the passenger foot pegs and the holder. I also ordered some cool new bolts to fill these holes, but for now I'll just put these back in if they're not too long. And actually these bolts have a shoulder on them, so I'm not going to be able to use these, and I'll just go ahead and leave the holes there for now. Okay, now from the same distance, let me go ahead and fire up the bike again and give it a couple of revs and see what, if any, sound differences there are with this can. Alright, not sure if I noticed any sound difference there at all, but again, I wasn't really expecting to, since it was just the can itself that I was replacing. And actually, now that I think of it, I believe this also came with a silencer, and I see something in here, so let me pull that out and see if that makes a difference in the sound. Alright, so it does come with a baffle. Let's try it without it. I'll go ahead and put all of the sound bites next to each other so that you can hear them one by one. Anyway, if you guys have any questions about this install or the M4 exhaust itself, throw them in the comments below. I did my first track day a couple of weeks ago, and I've got another one coming up in about a month, so I plan to start riding this bike a little more like it's intended to. But again, this one was mostly aesthetic. I dig the way it looks, and I like having those rear passenger pegs gone. I think I'll also do a rear cowl here where the passenger seat is currently, and there's a couple other carbon fiber bits I want to throw on the bike. I've got a few other videos of my ZX6R and a lot of other motorcycle videos on my channel. Thanks for watching, and stay tuned.